been forever. It's dusty in here. Ugh. Let me fix that right quick. There we go. Much better. A lot more colorful. Very colorful. My name is Tony Chacon. This is Couch Potato Lucha Libre, and it's time for a Lucha Libre history lesson. Hey, what happened back here? So today we're diving into a bit of the Lucha Libre sphere that makes a lot of my other history lessons kind of look like Ben Stein from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
In 1930, the Republican-controlled House of Representatives, in an effort to alleviate the effects of the...
Sorry. We're delving into the world of Exoticos. Now, time out. Before we get started, we do need a little bit of context here, and we'll go ahead and get that for you. 1 second here. Here we go. An exotico is a flamboyant performer who goes outside gender norms, mostly by performing in drag. In general, they're straight men playing a part, but in cases like today's subject, they can be played by an openly gay man as well. Typically, the characters use titillation in the audience to make small-minded straight men uncomfortable through various and occasionally harmful stereotypes. Which is perfect, because today we're covering the Liberace of Lucha Libre, El Divo de Juárez, the king of the exoticos, none other than Cassandro. This is going to be a great ride. Born in El Paso, Texas, and leaving high school at the age of 15 to debut in the Juárez scene about 3 years later as a rudo named Mr. Romano, the Rey Mysterio Sr. trained Saúl Arbendáriz took to changing his character. He was a Roman tough guy in a mask, and let's be honest, his facial expressions are worth the money that you're paying to book him. He would become a flamboyant exotico to the likes of which we've never seen before. His name was Rosa Salvaje, the Wild Rose, and he wanted to change it. He would have to do it the traditional way. Well, he would lose a lucha de apuestas, obviously, to do it, and he would become who we know and love as Cassandro, taken from the name of a madam for a Tijuana brothel. You can't spell research, but the word brothel made it into the script? Go to your shame corner. Anyway, at the age of just 20, Cassandro would wind up in Mexico City, wrestling for UWA. At the time, the country's most renowned wrestling promotion, and a solid number 2 promotion behind Consejo Mundial de Lucha Libre. In a short time, Cassandro worked his way up to a prominent spot, alongside compatriot and tag team partner Pimpinela Escarlata, another massive exotico. Hey everybody, Future Tony here. So this is the point that warning at the beginning was talking about. So I'm actually going to give a chance to anybody who doesn't need to hear this, who doesn't feel comfortable hearing this. If you are falling in that category, you can feel free to go ahead and skip ahead. There's a time code right about here. We're going to go ahead and tell the story. You don't have to listen to it or any of that good stuff. We won't miss any kind of career milestones or anything like that. But this is your warning that this is about to start. You're also going to get about a 5-second counter before this story starts and after the story ends. That way you know more or less where you're going to have to land on the video in case you're doing just the slider thing, okay? All right, everybody. Thank you. All of this would lead to the biggest match of his career against the heir to the Mexican dynasty, El Hijo del Santo. To give a bit of perspective, this would be Orange Cassidy for The Rock for the WWE Championship, but a little bit bigger because of the venue. In the run-up to the match, fans, co-workers, promoters, the media, everybody was calling this a travesty. This is a horrendous day for the culture and the sport of Lucha Libre in Mexico, according to some. The backlash was so great that Cassandro unfortunately attempted suicide. He sliced his wrist in a hotel bathroom. Pimpinela Escarlata, his erstwhile tag team partner, saved him. This is a testament to the fact that there's nothing new to negative backlash wrestlers get and the mental toughness required to be one. Even after a year where we lost Hana Kimura. It's kind of a solid and somber reminder. The more things change, the more they kind of stay the same. In February 1991, Cassandro would lose to El Hijo del Santo in his challenge for the prestigious UWA World Welterweight Championship, held by luminaries like the Great Sasuke, El Tejano, Gran Hamada, Yoshihiro Asai, who's the future Ultimo Dragon, and Villano III, who would beat Huracan Ramirez to be the first champion. Go figure. Cassandro wouldn't be out of the gold rush for long, though. On October 29th, 1992, he'd become the UWA World Lightweight Champion. This makes Cassandro the first Exotico to hold a major championship in a major Mexican wrestling promotion, paving a path that Baby Sharon, his mentor, attempted to blaze 20 years earlier. Cassandro would wrestle for UWA until it closed its doors in 1995. Now, unfortunately, after that, information on Cassandro's career and things like that is a bit of a blur for the undisputed king of the drip. He'd spend the next 8 years on the Mexican independent circuit, which there isn't a ton of information on. And he'd be, unfortunately, addicted to alcohol and drugs. He would get his sobriety date, June 4th, 2003, tattooed on his back, and just 2 years later would debut for the promotion where he's best known, Lucha Libre AAA. Cassandro would wrestle with fits and starts like wrestlers do, fairly consistently in places like AAA, CMLL, Ring of Honor, TNA, and for the National Wrestling Alliance, where he would become the first in the revived lineage of the NWA World Welterweight Champion, held by people like El Santo and Blue Demon and Huracan Ramirez. Up until the present day, Cassandro performs, even as recently as October of 2020, in the midst of a global... Nope, YouTube won't let me call it that. Cassandro, at 50, would main event Effie's Big Gay Brunch at the Collective against Sunny Kiss in a winning effort with a massive top rope victory roll. So, I'm guessing the question now is, why would I cover Cassandro? Aren't there other influential luchadores that I haven't covered? You know, El Santo, Blue Demon, Fray Tormenta, Rayo de Jalisco, La Parca, LA Park, Los Villanos, Ray Mendoza, Diablo Velasco. Why Cassandro? There's a couple of things going on here. First and foremost, it's proof that even I, as a cisgender straight man, know and respect what Cassandro did, not only for his character archetype, but for wrestling as a whole. Cassandro was basically told to play in a bathtub, and he made waves that nobody could ignore. To speak to the elevation of an art form, you typically don't get that chance until that artist is long gone. According to Doctor Who, anyway. To give and be able to spread an appreciation of someone like Cassandro is a blessing I have while he still lives. Even now, in the aftermath of him convalescing from an emergency surgery. Secondly, and no less importantly, as wrestling fans, we owe a debt of gratitude to Cassandro for giving others a chance. You know, without Cassandro, there would be no space for the androgynous Gold Dust. There's no room for the neutral beauty of Edith Surreal, the former still life with apricots and pears. No place for someone like Sunny Kiss on a major wrestling roster, if not for what Cassandro, building on what Baby Sharon did. Cassandro set expectations and has made us all witness to the shattering of them. There may be more popular luchadors. There may be more mainstream luchadors. There may be more recognizable luchadors. But hardly is there anyone more influential than the Liberace of Lucha Libre himself, Cassandro. In the words of the man himself, Bendita Lucha Libre, nunca te acabes. This has been a Lucha Libre history lesson. I'm Tony Jacone. Thank you for watching.